like I was looking back on one of my sign language videos that I'd done almost a year ago now, and there was an acquaintance that I had where they told me in sign, "Oh, I see that you've gotten very good, that you've been practicing, um, you know, you've become better." And that all seems really simple to me, especially bin. I realized how much that's like a pigeon signed English thing that I did not learn when like studying on my own. These kind of like it's the these smaller. Wait, how do I have Y hands on this guy? Oh, it worked! Oh, I'm super surprised. Okay, this does have the advanced hands. Sorry, there's an oddity where, okay, I guess my re-upload did work. I'm super surprised. I need to fix this so that it has an outline so that you can see my hands better, because the coloration isn't so great for being able to visualize things. Hey, hey, thumbnail. So, oh, there's little things where seeing stuff work in VR. So I guess I just gave a demonstration of my fascination towards the aspect of art and going, well, what's worth it? Seeing your art alive. Like this is a custom hand shape that I animated, where the I have what's it called, muscle editor, advanced muscle editor or something like that, where instead of having the fingers like perfectly straight up, they're slightly curved, so that looks more natural. And also just the way that the thumb was, it was just like out further, so it didn't look natural at all. But that looks much better, especially when after you usually have like that for a lot of things, family, important. To look to the side. Oh, glanced over there, glanced back. A bit of a double take. I guess if I hit the hitting the joystick there, that's making it flip over to X hands, so I can do a joke there. That's actually easier to see, and my hands are actually blending into the ground when I'm looking down to like check, am I in the right position for this? But like against the jacket, it's not too hard to see the hand shapes. But so I'm geeking out over like little sign language things that I can do here. And that threw me off, because usually the control for this would be like the rock-on hands, where you have that symbol. Like the horn hands, you wouldn't have the thumb out by the default gestures. And I go, wait, how did I get Y hand on here? And that has to do with just adding animations to things. So yes, I'm geeking out about a certain thing with arts, with making avatars, where that's part of the motivation, is seeing things like come to light in VR. That was a big motivation for me to get involved with avatar creation and making props and making animations and learning a whole bunch about Blender, which now I realize that I've forgotten a lot of hotkeys, and there's a lot of what was muscle memory when I was doing like nothing but Blender for 2 months straight, where there's a lot of things that felt like muscle memory and all this that I couldn't replicate when I recently tried to get back into things. And I realized that there is a time commitment there, and so that's something that I had to like consciously consider, the whole aspect of what is the cost to this, what do I benefit from it, and there is the personal motivation where I feel excited, I feel competent when I am able to think of something, like let's say that I'm able to think of oh, well, I have a hand gesture that I want to change what the shape is so that it looks more natural. A very small, clear objective. Or like even making this necklace, for example. It's really simple to just use like curves in Blender. And I'm like, okay, well, I want to do, very simple sort of thing that I'm applying bits of knowledge that I've never done towards making a prop, where I'm going to use curves to make this sort of design that it looks like the antler that's on a different character's model, which is what I based this necklace off of. But to have it all come together and to make it into something where it's like, this is kind of what I envisioned. I didn't I was actually trying different kinds of textures to it to see what I liked to give kind of a glowy effect. And I settled on the sort of sparkling that you have here. Seeing all these things come together and being able to take something that's just in your mind and create it. It's like with drawing, it's very similar. I should do drawing like that because that's art. I don't know why I do writing with the D hands. Usually, like, people do like pen down for writing, and that's much easier to see. And I actually confused someone when I was doing writing. It's like, oh yeah, they're saying, what are your hobbies? What do you like to do? And I said, oh, I like writing. And dictionary is like that, or sometimes I'll do it like turning the page. But they thought that I was signing dictionary because I was going down, like doing the drawing motion, but it looks like the circular motion for like you're turning the page of a dictionary. They're like, what? You enjoy reading the dictionary? And I was like, oh yeah, I should have the imaginary pencil go down on the imaginary paper to better signify that. And like me actually seeing myself, like I have the camera set up so that I can see myself kind of like in a mirror so that I know how I'm gesturing. And that gives more feedback. And I would like to do more videos in the future with sign language where I have, or maybe I'm signing into the mirror where I have someone like next to me that's also signing, where it's easier to record, as well as having the feedback for like the specific placement of where your hands are in relation to your body, because that's one thing that's kind of missing in VR is this kinesthetic spatial awareness. Big words for just saying being aware of where precisely your body is in space. And when you're doing sign language, like the location of where your hands are is very important for getting across the message. Let's see, can I think of anything off the top of my head? Of water. Wait, do I have W? Yeah. So if I'm doing W down here, that's water. But if let's say my tracking's messed up and it looks like let's say my hand's like glitching out over here, then that looks like wine. All it takes is a circle. All it takes is a circular motion to turn water into wine. I have a few like funny phrases like that will come up when I think of like a certain sign and trying to explain, how do you remember that this is that, or whatever. Let me think. Some things are pretty obvious, like, oh, that's actually not so great. My flat hand doesn't have... I might change these flat hands. My neutral hand, the fingers are not spread so well. So maybe that's something else that I would make like as an animation, is I might have like a toggle to have spread fingers for flat hands so that I could do things like helicopter better. And you see that's not great. Wait. Yeah, that's not great for tracking. That doesn't look quite right, especially because you can't get your hands super close because of how the trackers are. Let's see. Can I fake that with going in front of it or behind it? That's almost better. That's almost better for helicopter like that. It's confusing because you have my controllers are touching right now, but obviously my character's hands aren't touching, so it's one of those limitation things where certain signs in certain ways... Wow, I'm getting like dyslexic. Explaining certain things is real funny in sign language sometimes, where it's just inherently rewarding. I get like a little giggle out of it, and showing people some things, seeing what their reaction is. That's something that's inherently rewarding for me, but that's not something that just like comes out of, oh, I like this in my head. It's a social interaction. You have this interplay of conveying something to another person and getting this feedback where, hey, they enjoyed that. How do I know that they enjoyed that? They laughed, or I made a really bad pun and they groaned at it, but you know what? They felt something. They felt something profound nonetheless.